Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. According to Fabrizo, Romano, Manchester United have made no official bid for Zenis Zakaria as things stand. Earlier on today, it said that Manchester United had made a 5 million bid for Zenis Zakaria, and it said Manchester United were in talks to sign Zakaria. Ralph Rangnick appreciates the player. There's been quite a few clubs in for Zenis Zakaria. Liverpool have been heavily linked with him. Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund have also enquired about him, and Aston Villa have been in for him. Zakaria is at Borussia Mönchengladbach. He's been at Borussia Mönchengladbach for 5 years. He joined them in 2017. Borussia Mönchengladbach got Zenis Zakaria from Young Boys that paid around €10 million. Zenis Zakaria has made 118 appearances in the Bundesliga and he's scored 11 goals. His contract at Borussia Mönchengladbach expires this year. He is the age of 25 and is a defensive midfielder. Rangnick's already made it clear that he wants a centre defensive midfielder at Manchester United. Rangnick has been Manchester United's interim manager for over a month now. Revert back to the other week, it said Rangnick is already losing the dressing room. It said 17 Manchester United players are unhappy with Ralph Rangnick and want to leave. So Rangnick is already under pressure, but despite that, Rangnick got told that transfer funds are available this month. So reflecting on that, Rangnick will be backed by the Glazers. Manchester United lost last Monday night to Wolves 1-0. That was Ralph Rangnick's first defeat as Manchester United manager, and it was the first time Wolves won at Old Trafford for 42 years. It was a very poor performance against Wolves. But reflecting on the poor performances under Rangnick, I say Rangnick is blameless. The players have to take the blame for the poor performances. The players are the biggest problem at Manchester United at this moment in time because they are not performing. Rangnick is Manchester United's interim manager until the end of the season. Then it did initially say that Rangnick will take a consultancy role for a further 2 years, but now the consultancy role is in doubt. I'm very sceptical that Rangnick will get offered the Man United job on a permanent basis. Before Manchester United, he was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. To Rangnick's credit, he has made changes since he got recommended in. He's brought 3 additions in. Earlier on this season, he brought Ewan Sharp in as an assistant coach and analyst. He also brought Chris Armas in as an assistant coach, and he also brought Saz Chalens in as a sports psychologist. There's like 3 problems that Ralph Rangnick needs to address at Manchester United, and that is the squad, the formation. Since Rangnick's come in, he's stuck with that 4-2-2 formation, but obviously that formation doesn't seem to be working. And the other problem he's got to address is the team selection. In the summer, Manchester United will appoint a permanent manager. There's a good chance that Mauricio Pochettino will be Manchester United's next permanent manager, because the Manchester Evening News said not so long ago that Mauricio Pochettino to Manchester United is almost done. It said Pochettino wants Manchester United and Manchester United want Pochettino. And it says Pochettino will leave PSG by June at the latest. PSG have got their replacement for Pochettino because PSG have agreed terms with Zinedine Zidane. Zidane is the former Real Madrid manager. Earlier on this season, Pochettino came out a few times and said that I'm happy at PSG. And he did mention that he wouldn't let the Man United rumours distract him. Pochettino, I think, has won a French Cup at PSG. Revert back to when Manchester United sacked Jose Mourinho. Manchester United should have got Pochettino then, but the club decided to go with Solskjaer instead. He's a good manager, Pochettino, even though he's hardly won anything. He's proven in the Premier League, which is beneficial because before Pochettino managed Tottenham, he endured 5.5 years at Tottenham. In 2018, he guided Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final, and at one point he almost won the league when he was Tottenham manager. And before Pochettino managed Southampton, he only enjoyed a short managerial tenure with them, but he still managed to guide Southampton to their highest ever finish in the Premier League. And before he managed Espanyol. If Man United were to appoint Pochettino in now instead of the summer, we'd have to pay around a 10 million compensation fee. There's a lot of Manchester United fans that would like to see Erik ten Hag come in. You've got to admire the work he's done at Ajax. You know, he's won a couple of titles at Ajax. He got Ajax to the Champions League semi-finals back in 2019, and I like the way he develops young players. He's got a contract with Ajax until 2023. He's been at Ajax for 5 years. He became Ajax manager back in 2017. Before Ajax, Erik ten Hag managed Utrecht. Before then, he managed Bayern Munich's reserves, and before then, he managed Go Ahead Eagles. Last week it said Erik ten Hag was leading the race to become Man United's next manager. Manchester United are looking for the 5th permanent manager. Manchester United have sacked 4 permanent managers since Ferguson retired. You know, Manchester United sacked David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, and last year Manchester United sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You know, look at the players that Manchester United have got. You know, we've got good players, we've also got inconsistent players as well. So obviously we've got the best player in the world overall in Cristiano Ronaldo. Recently, Cristiano Ronaldo held crisis talks with his agent George Mendes about his future. Said the other week that Cristiano Ronaldo is ready to quit Manchester United if the club's next manager isn't to his liking. Ronaldo's agent George Mendes said not so long ago that Ronaldo is very happy at Man United, but Ronaldo came out and said that I'm not happy at Manchester United. Manchester United have relied on Ronaldo far too much, and there's been quite a few games where he's saved us this season. Disregarding Ronaldo, we'd be in a worse position than we're in now. You know, Ronaldo's done well since he re-signed, He's had poor games as well. Ronaldo scored 14 goals in all competitions since he re-signed, and he's got over 800 goals in his career. Manchester United re-signed Ronaldo last summer for 20 million with add-ons included. You know, he wears a number 7 shirt. He's got a contract with Man United until 2023. There's an option of a further year. Ronaldo receives £480,000 a week, so he's the highest earner at Man United at the moment. Ronaldo's won over 30 trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. We've also got Mason Greenwood. That's a talented player. I think Greenwood's done pretty well since he recovered from COVID. Greenwood did mention earlier on this season that he was upset that Ronaldo always starts. Revert back to 2019, Manchester United offered Mason Greenwood a life-changing amount of money for him to leave. You know, Mason Greenwood made his senior debut for Man United back in 2019. He's been a United player since the age of 7, so he's been part of the club for a long time. And last season, Greenwood signed a new 4-year contract. We've got Anthony Elanga. You know, he looks a good asset for the first team squad. You know, he's made quite a few first team appearances. He came on against Wolves last Monday night. I'm hearing that Anthony Elanga is going out on loan. Elanga's been part of the club for a long time, came up our academy, and that he joined Man United's academy at the age of 12. Last year, Anthony Elanga signed a new contract with Man United until June 2026 as an option of a further year. Man United have also got Amad Diallo. He's going out on loan. He's made a few first team appearances, but he's played nowhere near as much in the first team as I expected, because let's put into the equation what Manchester United paid for him. We got Amad Diallo for 37 million with add-ons included. Manchester United paid around 19 million up front. We got Amad Diallo from Atalanta. Man United have got Jadon Sancho. Now, he has done nowhere near as well as a lot of Manchester United fans expected. But it does take some players time to settle in. You know, revert back to when we had Solskjaer, we couldn't get the best out of Sancho because Solskjaer persistently played him out of position, and there was quite a few games Sancho didn't even play in under Solskjaer. I think the best games Sancho's enjoyed since he signed for the club was the games against Chelsea and Villarreal away. You know, he scored in both of them games. He played well in the 3-1 win against Burnley as well. He pretty much scored in that game, but obviously it got put down as an own goal because when Sancho struck it, it got deflected off Benjamin Mee. Sancho enjoyed 4 good years at Borussia Dortmund before he signed for Man United. You know, Man United got Sancho for 78 million with add-ons included. Man United paid around 73 million up front. He's got a contract with the club until June 2026 as an option of a further year. Juan Mata. Don't have a great deal of a perception on him now because he doesn't get in the team much, but I do reckon that Juan Mata has had a good career at Manchester United. You know, Mata has made over 200 appearances in all competitions and he's scored over 50 goals. And Mata's been at Manchester United for 8 years, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player. We got Juan Mata from Chelsea back in 2014 for 40 million. Brought him in under the David Moyes era. Manchester United have also got Edison Cavani. That's a good player. I give you the news on Edison Cavani this morning. Ralph Rangnick revealed that Edison Cavani wants to stay at Manchester United until the end of the season. Last Thursday, Edison Cavani had a meeting with Ralph Rangnick. The other week, Rangnick said that he's desperate for Edison Cavani to stay at Manchester United until the end of the season. Cavani's had a couple of injuries this season. He's out of contract at Man United until the summer. Cavani's been linked with Barcelona. Last year it said Cavani agreed to join Barcelona on an 18-month contract. Cavani's been linked with Juventus, and last year Cavani rejected a move to Boca Juniors. Man United got Cavani on a free transfer from PSG back in the summer of 2020. You know, we've also got Anthony Martial. He's inconsistent. The best season Martial has enjoyed at Man United was his debut season under Louis van Gaal. To be fair, he was pretty impressive last season. Martial will probably leave Manchester United this year. Sevilla have been in for him. Fabrizo Romano did recently say, though, that Sevilla can't pay Martial's full salary plus loan fee. Last year, Manchester United rejected a loan offer from Sevilla for Martial. Martial's made it clear that he's not interested in making a move to Newcastle. The other week, there was talks about an Ousmane Dembele and Anthony Martial swap deal. Like I said, I don't want Ousmane Dembele at Manchester United because he's too injury prone. But Martial, like I say, he's demanding more game time at Man United. He's getting nowhere near enough game time. Obviously, last year, Rangnick confirmed that Martial wants to leave, as Martial held talks with Rangnick over his future. And last year, Martial's agent confirmed that Martial wants to leave Man United this month. Manchester United paid initial fee of $36 million for Martial from Monaco back in 2015. Martial's been at Man United for 7 years and he's got a contract with the club until 2024. Marcus Rashford. You know, he's a poor player at the moment. Marcus Rashford's been very, very poor since he come back from that shoulder problem. He hasn't been the same player, you know. Marcus Rashford missed the first 2 months of this season with that shoulder problem. Before that shoulder problem, though, Rashford, you know, was actually very good. But wasn't world class, but he was good. Can Marcus Rashford ever become a world class player? Revert back to earlier on this season, reports from Spain said that Marcus Rashford could leave Manchester United as Barcelona and PSG were said to be interested. Rashford's got under a year and a half left now on his contract. Rashford's been a United player since the age of 7, so he's been part of the club for a long time, and he broke into our senior squad back in 2016. So he's been in our senior squad now for a good 5.5, 6 years. You know, we got Bruno Fernandes. Overall, a good player, and he's one of our best players, and he's one of the best signings we've made since Ferguson retired. But this season, Fernandes has been very, very poor. And I'm shocked in that aspect because last season, Fernandes was very, very good. By the way, Fernandes has recently hit out at Barcelona. He has been linked with Barcelona a few times. I think a while ago Real Madrid went in for him. Bruno Fernandes has been a Manchester United player for 2 years now, is it? Got him from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. Earlier on this season, Fernandes did make it clear that he wants to stay at Man United, and he said, "I come to Manchester to win trophies." He's got a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further 12 months. Earlier on this season, there was talks about Fernandes getting his contract extended. That's obviously when we had Solskjaer. Jesse Lingard, obviously, he's an inconsistent player. Don't have a great deal of perception on him now anyway, because he doesn't get in the team, does he? But he was inconsistent before when, you know, he did get in the team. But there again, he's had his good periods at Man United. Lingard will be leaving Manchester United this year. His contract at Man United expires in the summer. Well, last year it said Lingard will be staying at Man United this month to fight for his place under Ralph Rangnick. I'm hearing that West Ham want to re-sign him at the second half of last season. Lingard endured a 4-month loan spell with West Ham. Donny van der Beek, yes, he is a good player, but I haven't had a great deal of a perception on him at Manchester United because Donny van der Beek has not been given enough opportunities. You know, he didn't get enough opportunities under Solskjaer, and he hasn't been given enough opportunities under Ralph Rangnick. I thought when we got Rangnick in, you know, Van der Beek was going to get the opportunities he was demanding under Solskjaer. I think Van der Beek's only started one game under Ralph Rangnick. Van der Beek will leave this year. He'll leave in the summer, because I have been hearing that Van der Beek is not allowed to leave Man United this month. Van der Beek remains keen on leaving Man United in this January transfer window. He recently held talks with Rangnick to discuss his future. Not so long ago, Van der Beek had a bust-up with his agent. He should have gone to Everton last summer, Van der Beek, but he didn't. He's been a Manchester United player for almost, 2 years now. He's only managed to score 2 goals for the club. You know, we got Van der Beek for 40 million with add-ons included. He's got a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further year, and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. You know, we've also got Fred. Don't think he's a good player overall, and I've got my reservations about him, but he has had some good games this season as Fred. You know, the games Fred played well in, he played well in the 1-0 win against Norwich last year. He was our best outfield player. Fred also played well in the game against Palace last year. That was Rangnick's first game in charge of Man United. You know, Fred scored a stunning goal late on against Palace. Fred also played well in the 3-2 win against Arsenal last year because he got an assist in that game and he won the penalty. And he did really well in the 1-1 draw at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea last year. I've criticised Fred so many times. Manchester United got Fred for around 50 million from Shakhtar Donetsk a few years ago. We've also got Scott McTominay. I don't think he's that good. But yeah, on the other side of things, McTominay has had good games at Manchester United. He's had some good games this season. He played very well in the 3-1 win against Burnley. He was the man of the match in that game. You know, McTominay scored against Burnley. That was his first goal since February and his 15th goal for Manchester United overall. He should have had more than 1 goal against Burnley. I thought he played well against Norwich last year. McTominay played well on the opening day against Leeds. McTominay is suspended for Manchester United's next league game against Villa because he got a yellow card against the Wolves last Monday. Back in 2020, McTominay signed a 5-year contract with Manchester United, so reflecting on that, he committed his future to the club. You know, Man United have also got Matic. He's not a good player, but he's had his good games at Man United. I've always had my reservations about Matic because he's always been a static midfielder, plus he's ageing up. Matic he's not one of our first choice midfielders, but he still gets in there. He's the only predominant centre defensive midfielder that Man United have got. Matic has been at Man United for 5 years. We got Matic from Chelsea back in 2017 for 40 million. You know, we've also got Paul Pogba. You know, Paul Pogba's a good player. He's not only a good player, he's an imperative player as well. Revert back towards the start of this season when he was fit. You know, Pogba was in scintillating form and he produced good performances for Man United in the last couple of months of last season. But at one point last season he was out with a thigh injury for a while. By the way, Rangnick recently provided us with an injury update on Paul Pogba. He said Paul Pogba's going to be out for at least another 4 weeks. He's out with a groin injury. Last week, Paul Pogba denied being offered a contract at Manchester United because the Sun came out and said that Manchester United offered Paul Pogba a new £500,000 a week contract that would have made Pogba the highest paid player in Premier League history. Pogba is out of contract in the summer. Manchester United have also got Luke Shaw. He's a good left back overall. You know, Luke Shaw was very good last season, but this season he's been very, very poor. He's had a couple of injuries this season and he's injury prone, which is a concern. Luke Shaw, I think, started our last 2 games. Luke Shaw obviously is suspended for Man United's game against Villa in the league next weekend because Luke Shaw got a yellow card last Monday against Wolves. Luke Shaw has been at Manchester United for around 8 years, so he's been a long-serving player. Man United have also got Alex Telles. He's a decent left back. I think he's done well in a lot of the games he has played in. Telles appeared to be our first choice left back under Rangnick, but like I've just mentioned not so long ago, the last couple of games Rangnick's decided to start Luke Shaw. But I have been impressed with Telles this season, especially under Rangnick. Earlier on this season, Telles had an injury, didn't he? The reason Manchester United brought Telles in was to provide competition for Luke Shaw. Do you think Telles could leave the club this year? Manchester United got Telles back in January 2020 from Porto for 15.4 million, was it, with add-ons included? We've got quite a few centre-backs. You know, obviously we've got Harry Maguire now. Harry Maguire is an inconsistent player. You know, Maguire has done nowhere near as well at Manchester United as a lot of Manchester United fans expected. To be honest with you, I thought Maguire was a far superior player at Leicester than he has been at Man United. Maguire, by the way, has got a knock at the moment. That's why Jones played against Wolves last Monday night, and Maguire had a calf injury earlier on this season and he had ligament damage in his ankle towards the end of last season. But Maguire, to his credit, he recently spoke out, didn't he? Maguire came out and admitted that he's sick of Manchester United's poor form. And Maguire also said that the Man United players are letting the fans down. And Maguire said that Rangnick is not all to blame for the poor performances. You know, Harry Maguire certainly wasn't worth the 80 million that Manchester United paid for him. We've also got Victor Lindelof. You know, he's another centre-half we've got. He's not good enough to represent the club, as you all know. I've got my strong reservations about Lindelof. Lindelof's recently recovered from COVID. Lindelof's been at the club for around 5 years now. Manchester United got Lindelof from Benfica back in 2017 for 31 million. Another centre-half Man United have got, and that's Eric Bailly. There's a good chance that Bailly will be leaving the club this year because Bailly doesn't get in the team much. Bailly started in the 3-1 win against Burnley, surprisingly, but Bailly had to come off in the game because of injury. He is injury prone, which is a concern. Towards the end of last season, Bailly signed a new contract with Man United till 2024. There's an option of a further year. At the moment, Bailly is at the African Cup of Nations, so he's not available for tonight's game against Villa. Got Bailly from Villarreal back in 2016 for 30 million. We've got Varane. He's another centre-half Man United have got. I think Varane is a good centre-half, but I think since he come back from that hamstring injury, he has been poor. Varane was poor last Monday night against Wolves. Looked lethargic, caught out of position quite a few times. He didn't start against Burnley, but he came on, and he was poor on his return in the 1-1 draw against Newcastle towards the end of last year. He misplaced passes in that one, and he was accountable for Newcastle's opening goal because he got dispossessed far too easily. Varane's already had 2 injuries since he signed for the club. He had a hamstring injury, and was it towards the start of this season, Varane had a groin injury, and he was out with that groin injury for a few weeks. Manchester United got Varane for what, 41 million with add-ons included. Man United paid around 34 million up front. He's under contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further year. And another centre-half we've got, and that's Phil Jones. Jones will leave the club this year. Jones doesn't really get in the team, but he did play last Monday night against Wolves, and it was his first Premier League appearance since January 2020. Phil Jones was our best player against Wolves Monday night. Jones has been a long-serving player at Man United. You know, this season is his 11th season at the club. He's the only outfield player that's still with us from the Ferguson era. So there you go, they're the centre-halves we've got. You know, obviously we've got Dalot, you know, he's a right-back. Dalot's had some good games this season, especially under Rangnick. Dalot appeared to be our first choice right-back under Rangnick, but the last couple of games, Rangnick's decided to start Wan-Bissaka. I think Dalot will leave this year. Last season, Dalot had a loan spell with AC Milan, so reflecting on that, he gained some experience, didn't he? And we got Dalot from Porto for £19 million. The other right back we've got, and that's Wan-Bissaka. Good when he wants to be, but I think he's been poor in a lot of games this season. I think most of the time, defensively, he's good, but the attacking side of his game lets him down. And, you know, Man United have also got David De Gea. You know he deserves credit because he's done really well this season. He's saved Manchester United quite a few times this season. You know, we've also got Dean Edison, that's good as well, but he doesn't get in goal much now because last summer De Gea reclaimed that #1 spot back. Man United looking to get rid of Henderson permanently this year. And we've also got Tom Eaton, he's our 3rd choice goalkeeper. So anyway guys, that's everything to update with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very soon.